I think the police did what they were supposed to do. They came in, they came through the door, they arrested him. He's bonded out since. The problem that I have is that there's this thing that we're dealing with right now that's called mental issue.
Of Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia fighting on Netflix to replace Davis, Jake Paul. If you guys haven't seen Gervonta Davis in another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet. Fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen.
It already happened. You knew it happened, and you made the fight anyway. So now, based on something you already knew happened, now you're just saying, oh, no, because this happened, we're not going to do the fight. But you knew already in the first place.
Yeah, the history was already there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And for this particular situation, by the way, mind you, the girl now is coming with a civil suit.
Yes.
She probably saw that he signed the Jake Paul.
Following Gervonta Davis's arrest, Shannon Sharpe didn't hold back. He emphasized the necessity for care and advice for the person who experienced the incident in his forceful speech. He emphasized that dismissing it as merely a mental health problem ignores the suffering and harm inflicted on others, necessitating genuine responsibility that goes beyond compassion. He added that Tank's career has been ruined by this occurrence.
Protector is the abuser. You lose a sense of protection of what you think a protector should do, because you're supposed to protect me from this. If someone is trying to do this to me, you're supposed to jump in and be my superhero. You're not supposed to commit this.
When Jake Paul learned about Gervonta Davis's recent legal issues, he responded angrily on X. In his statement, he expressed his dissatisfaction and disgust at Davis's alleged persistent lack of professionalism. Gervonta Davis is a walking human piece of garbage, Jake wrote. It is a complete nightmare to work with him. The lack of professionalism, the strange demands, the hours-long tardiness for shoots, the multiple arrests, the accusations, and the lawsuits that followed. You are endorsing the most heinous sin a man can do if you support this man. I didn't want to give this abuser of women a stage on which to increase his fan base and financial account. My company champions women, he continued. I really apologize to everyone involved, especially the undercard fighters, my team at MVP, and my team who sacrificed time with loved ones and children in order to prepare for this fight, only for this idiot to lose his stupid head once more. Devilish men like this can become powerful figures in sports and culture, which is frightening. Going future, I hope you look past his phony streetwear items as trinkets and find something more meaningful to be a fan of. Fans and commentators debated both his remarks and his abrupt departure from the fight after his post attracted a lot of attention on the internet. After Gervonta Davis's legal issues put their scheduled bout in jeopardy, Jake Paul is currently searching for a replacement opponent. According to reports, in order to keep the event on Netflix, Jake and his crew started narrowing down potential alternatives. Francis Ngannou, a former UFC champion, suddenly surfaced as one of the names. But Ngannou himself dismissed the notion right away. He stated unequivocally that he was not interested in fighting Jake Paul and that the offer was disrespectful to his career. According to Ngannou, he is more interested in taking on more difficult boxing challenges and wants to participate at the top professional level rather than in matches for entertainment. Any chance that Jake would persuade him to take Gervonta's place was dashed when he decided to discontinue the conversation.
Gervonta Davis, we had to go right to the source. What can you tell us? Is there any possibility that Francis Ngannou will step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul?
No, there's no such of thing happening. Basically, like how can they go from like Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? Like, I mean, Gervonta Davis is a fantastic boxer, but and is a one-shot knockout artist. But come on, like the weight different and everything, it make no sense. You know, Gervonta Davis, you say, okay, the size different can level up. But at this point, for me to...
Francis Ngannou publicly denounced the rumors that connected him to Jake Paul. He declared that he would never agree to a battle that seemed like a publicity stunt. Ngannou feels that a fight with a YouTuber-turned-boxer like Jake Paul would be an insult to his skill level after he has faced professional boxers like Tyson Fury. Shortly after Jake's camp started hinting at potential talks, Ngannou responded directly to the speculations, stating that fighters should respect their craft and refrain from using combat sports as a clickbait. His unambiguous rejection highlighted his professionalism and value. The supporters valued his candor and concurred that it would not have made sense financially or competitively for him to face Jake Paul.
And he said, yeah, Jake Paul, you know, he's fighting. And I'm like, no, bro, come on. Don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say like, they even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He sent out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started up. I would have told you. I'm not just interested. It makes no sense for me. It's not my what I'm looking at right now.
So there is no dollar amount. It's more the opponent. The fight makes no sense. They could offer you $100 million and you wouldn't be interested.
The fight made no sense. That's what I do. That's my position. And though I went back, I saw
Jake Paul will have a difficult time finding a good opponent now that Gervonta Davis is out of the picture. Although Ryan Garcia's name was brought up as a potential replacement, the notion soon faded. While Jake battles for Netflix under his own flag, Garcia is bound by a contract with Golden Boy Promotions. It is almost impossible to arrange a battle between them because of the competing promotional and broadcast agreements. Furthermore, it has been stated that Ryan Garcia's team has expressed no interest in attending a Netflix event. Jake's team is still optimistic about finding someone with a well-known enough name to maintain fan attention. However, things have become more difficult due to the small number of available warriors.
If that is the route they're going, then it kind of dissuades what I thought Mitch was this rumor of Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia fighting on Netflix to replace Davis, Jake Paul. If you guys haven't seen Gervonta Davis in another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know. The fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen, and they're going to either have to move the fight back to look to a replacement or both. I don't know. And the rumor was one of the replacements was talked about and even offered to Ryan Garcia. Well, here is Ryan Garcia's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, speaking on that rumor and what's next for Ryan.
Saturday, so I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to go on a rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next. See you guys.
It seems like when Oscar decides to address something with Ryan Garcia, that he's not only addressing us, the people, that he's addressing Ryan Garcia. He's like, through us, telling Ryan, no, you're not fighting Jake Paul, no matter how much you want to fight. That's what it seems like, is like, no matter how much you want to fight Jake Paul, you're not fighting him. I don't even think that was meant for us. I think that was him telling Ryan. And you even hear it there. He's like, oh, Ryan's going to say, I'm keeping him from making money or whatever. But in this case, Oscar is right. If Ryan is signed to Golden Boy and Golden Boy is exclusively signed to DAZN for, fight rights, then Ryan has to fight on DAZN. I think that's pretty reasonable for Oscar. I didn't know that Golden Boy was exclusive to DAZN. I didn't know that was a thing. But if that is the
Analysts on the Ariel Helwani show talked about how Gervonta Davis's new lawsuit has seriously harmed his reputation in Korea. It is evident that his legal issues are not going away because the lawsuit was filed just 2 months after a prior case. Ariel Helwani and his panel discussed how these recurring problems reveal a pattern of toxic conduct that has impacted both his relationships and profession. They emphasized that these controversies have put the Netflix dispute with Jake Paul in grave danger. According to reports, the network does not want to link a fighter with numerous legal troubles to its first major boxing event. Jake Paul must now act fast to find a substitute in order to avoid the event being cancelled.
Aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Lawsuit comes 2 months after Davis's previous domestic violence case was dropped by a different ex-girlfriend and the mother of 2 of the boxer's 3 children. I just think MVP is in the business of being the home of women. right? At this point, like that's a huge part of their identity. What is their identity? It's Jake Paul and women's boxing. That's their identity right now. And they've done a phenomenal job for the women. And so how, with these allegations lingering and now coming to light 2 weeks before, how can you go through with it? And it sounds like they feel the same way. It's an impossible spot to be in.
The only part I'd say is like you kind of know who this guy is ahead of time. Like this is not exactly a shocking revelation. Like Tank Davis is, this is not the first rodeo. But I do think it's too close to the fight to really be, messing around here. Like you got to figure out a new solution.
And so there's been multiple reports regarding people that they've reached out to. Names like Ryan Garcia have been brought up. Terrence Crawford has been brought up. Francis Ngannou has been brought up. And Francis Ngannou spoke to TMZ today, and he did confirm that he was contacted. And the quote was, "How can they go from Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? It makes no sense." He was like, quote, "We think about you to fight Jake." I'm like, what? Which Jake? Bro, come on, don't disrespect me like that.
What the fuck is that?
That might have been the most timely "what the F is that" of all time. What do you guys think about that stance from Francis? Because actually, there's a part of me that thinks, take the fight, you knock him out, you'll be like 65 pounds bigger than him, and it's a nice little feather in your cap.
I think that was a great backup solution. I think Francis versus Jake is a great fight.
If it goes all
Compelling,
according to
too.
plan, like he should theoretically get paid a bunch of money, knock out Jake Paul, and make off like a bandit. There is always the world where it goes awry. If he were to drop the fight to Jake Paul, that would
Right,
be
but I mean, you could literally say that about any fight. Are you just saying that the risk is greater than the reward?
I don't think so.
In my eyes, losing to Jake Paul is worse than.
Shannon shared his thoughts on the matter and asked why the media and Jake Paul's side are responding to the lawsuit with such vigor. He clarified that Gervonta Davis shouldn't be regarded as like he is guilty as he hasn't been found guilty. Shannon thinks that by calling off the bout before a formal decision is made, Jake Paul is overreacting. He claims that although fighters with personal and legal issues have always been involved in boxing, matches nevertheless proceed according to schedule. He implied that Jake is avoiding a risky opponent by using the dispute as an excuse. Fans disagreed about Shannon's remarks. Some thought the fight should have gone on, while others thought Netflix and Jake made the right decision to save their reputation.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched them weigh in, I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
In a flash, Rolly Romero offered to take Gervonta Davis' position. He wrote on social media that he would be prepared to take on Jake Paul in a week. Romero declared with assurance that he could knock Jake out and put an end to any discussion about Jake being a true boxer. Fans debated whether his challenge would be a fair match after it gained notice on social media. Riley is renowned for his strength and audacious demeanor, and his readiness to engage in combat right away demonstrates his desire to remain active. Although Jake Paul has not yet answered, Romero's offer sparked debate and kept fans curious about who might eventually enter the ring.
I want to let everybody know I'm going to slap Jake Paul across his face because, first and foremost, man, I'm tired of this YouTube boxing stuff, man. I really am. I am more tired of this YouTube boxing stuff than everyone else, man. Oh, let's make this happen, bro. I'll be ready in a week. I'll be ready to slap Jake Paul across the face in a week. I will slap Jake Paul across his face. But who cares? I don't care. Roll over Jake Paul 2025, bro. I knocked out another YouTuber. I knocked out. Bro. Jake Paul gets knocked out.
Jake Paul's criticism of Gervonta Davis, according to analysts from several boxing shows, was hypocritical. They emphasized that Gervonta is not inherently guilty because the litigation against him is a civil matter rather than a criminal one. Viewers were reminded by others that Jake had previously been accused of similar things with his ex-girlfriend. They claimed that since Jake had a contentious past outside of the ring, he shouldn't pretend to be morally superior. This comparison added to the complexity of the problem. Many supporters began to doubt Jake's real reasons for calling off the battle, speculating that he might be using the lawsuit as a publicity stunt rather than out of a sincere concern for moral principles. Once more, I understand.
If I thought he did it twice and we forgave him for that and you got better use of help and etc., I can, I forgive him for it.
Bruh.
How you know Jake Paul didn't know that?
Jake Paul knew.
Jake Paul 100%
September 19th, 2017, arrest warrant, first degree assault. September 14th, 2018, arrested in Washington, D.C. February 1st, 2020, Davis arrested on domestic assault. March 22nd, 2021, indicted on 14 counts allegedly causing a serious crash. December 27th, 2022, days before a fight, arrested and jailed in Florida, domestic battery. July 11th, 25, taken into custody following a battery charge. October 31st, 25, Davis was involved in a civil fight with his girlfriend. Shut up, Jake Paul. You knew what you was doing.
He does not get this excuse whatsoever. Also, whenever you look at what Jake Paul has done since coming into the sport of boxing, he has been a champion for women in the sport. He has also been a champion of equal fighter pay and whatnot, right? All of these different things that he's done. He's gone to Dana White directly for trying to abolish the Muhammad Ali Act that helps out fighters get. He's gone to so many different people. He's an extremely knowledgeable person whenever it comes to the sport that he's hyper obsessed with and turned his career from a Disney star and a YouTuber into a boxer. He knew about these issues already.
Correct.
He knew that this was a farcical fight in the first place.
Yeah.
This is a 7-weight class difference in real boxing. No, absolutely not. It should not have been a fight that was happening in the first place. But even then, after all of these things going on right now, Jake Paul to sit there and act as if you are all high and mighty and that I don't want to give this dude a platform to earn money. You were more than happy doing it. And